burials that are going on at that location. My name is DutyRon. I'm a retired New York City police detective. I have 20 plus years in law enforcement. And tonight we're going to talk about Hart Island, which is right off the coast of the Bronx. It is located in the Bronx, New York. It's a cemetery that has been used for over 150 years by the city of New York. So I'm going to get into that right now. But before we get into it, please hit the subscribe button, hit your notification bell, so this way you have all things DutyRon when I do go live and you get the notifications. Again, welcome into my channel members, my Patreon supporters, and all the great people who come out each and every time I go live to support the channel. Thank you so much to Dookie 4000, B Higgs, Pia Girl, that's Daphne, my good friend, Joshua H, and all the great ones that are in here. I appreciate you guys coming on all the videos. Joey Brooklyn, all of my great moderators. Hello, Brady. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys coming in. Tonight, you know, we have a lot going on here in New York City with COVID-19. Our world confirmed cases is approaching 2 million cases worldwide, 126,539 deaths throughout the world. I'm going to show you guys a quick figure here, from John Hopkins. I'm going to get that up in 2 seconds. Here we go. So this is the world figure on COVID-19, the coronavirus. Judy, thank you for joining. Meg Lowe, how are you? I hope all is well. Again, these are staggering numbers. And thank God here in New York, we have hit the apex and we are starting to come down a little bit on our hospitalizations. The death rate is still up there. We're working on keeping our social distancing and keeping the course, washing hands, following all the guidelines of the CDC. Let me just go over to the United States model here. There's the United States model, 608,377 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the United States, and 25,000, approaching 26,000 deaths. Over 3 million. This is a new figure that they have in blue to the right here. These are the tests, total tests in the United States. 3,081,620 tests done. So when you have that many tests done, you're going to get high figures with the positives. The good news is that a lot of our people who fall victim and contract the coronavirus, a large percentage of them are making it out of the hospital, and that's a good thing. So thank you to everyone joining. Meg Lowe, I appreciate you being in here. Jack's mom, thank you for coming. Sleeping Beauty, all the great ones. Judy is in the building. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't shared this broadcast, please share out onto your social media. I'm going to cover in detail the history of Hart Island and what goes on there. It was reported and it was shared all over social media. I must have received dozens and dozens of Facebook notifications, and the Facebook notifications were on direct message. And what the direct message basically said was, hey, DutyRon, is this true that New York City is now making mass graves and burials of all COVID-19 people who die of coronavirus in New York? Are they being mass buried in graves? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And I said to myself, Hart Island is the only place where mass burials are conducted, and they're conducted with people who are homeless or people who have no family, as I stated in an earlier video. So it's not a place where they just dump a ton of bodies. It's just not the case. And the news media, unfortunately, gets these stories out, and some of them report on it the correct way, but then others will report on it in a not correct way. And that's where things go wrong. When they report on it not in a proper way, you have problems with people who all of a sudden become frightened. And, you know, the report was that the Parks Department is now going to start burying bodies in New York City parks. And guys, gals, come on. I mean, that's, it's just ridiculous. It's not something that would ever happen, not in this lifetime, not in any other lifetime. So at the end of it all, folks, I'm here to try to tell you that you can't listen to Facebook posts. Don't, take, when someone shares something with you, don't take it like it's Bible. Look into the stories, look into what's being told to you, and use your head. So the bodies that are being buried on Hart Island, which is in the Bronx, they are a mixture of COVID-19 and regular mortality, regular deaths that are going on in the city of New York. Okay, regular deaths occur from heart attack, stroke, cancer, and if the deceased does not have a next of kin, and the body stays in the morgue, it's usually 30 to 60 days on normal operating. They hold bodies for 30 to 60 days, and if nobody claims them, then they intern them at Potter's Field, which is, like I said, it's been in existence for 150 years. There's over 1 million people buried at that location. Now that there's a pandemic going on, and there's, look, I put this figure up for a reason. I want to go over to the New York model here. This is for New York City. I'm going to click on New York City, which New York City has been hit hard, guys. New York City's been hit very hard. We're talking about 110,000 confirmed cases up above here, 110,000 cases with almost 8,000 deaths. So again, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is it is a staggering number. And if you have homeless or people who do not have next of kin, there's many people who their brothers and sisters, when they get into their 70s and 80s, brothers and sisters have died off, and family members are not there to claim the bodies. So they have to do something with them. So that's what's going on. And I'm going to segue off to a clip that'll explain this to you. The Hart Island Project. There's a woman who runs the Hart Island Project, and she's going to explain it to you, and you guys will see what this was on the news this morning on Fox 5.
Of New York City's COVID-19 crisis. The city says so many people are dying that the bodies. A disturbing image showing the reality of New York City's COVID-19 crisis. The city says so many people are dying that the bodies are just piling up, and to ease the burden, the city has started to bury unclaimed bodies on Hart Island. Joining us this morning, the director of the Hart Island Project, Melinda Hunt. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Tell us about your challenges.
Well, thank you for having me, and good morning. The New York City is actually quite well prepared for the rise in death toll in New York City. Hart Island is a tried and tested system of burials, and it's a place where over 1 million people have been buried to date. And surprisingly, there is plenty of space on Hart Island. These are common graves, and each.
So, folks, there's an aerial shot from the other day. This was just from 3 days ago. I think they interned 45 or 50 bodies at Hart's Island. So I think this was an accurate figure, 45 or 50 on that day. And these are. It used to be corrections officers, correction inmates, New York City Department of Correction. I think it's now contracted out. I don't know if corrections is still handling it, but I think this woman says that it's contracted out to a private firm now. But they're all in Tyvek suits. This is what the indicator is, that it is COVID-19 bodies that were not claimed. They have a 14-day grace period. You have 2 weeks to make a claim. and say that you're going to get burial arrangements, a funeral director and whatnot. And these are all bodies that have been there past that 14 days without any contact from any family members. And remember, these could be homeless people. This could be somebody who's living in a homeless shelter. This could be somebody who is just lived at home alone and there's no next of kin. So let's let this continue. I'm sorry that I stopped it.
Box is a grave that is carefully planned, is a tried and tested system of burials, and it's a place where over 1 million people have been buried to date. And surprisingly, there is plenty of space on Hart Island. These are common graves, and each box is a grave that is carefully placed in a trench. Each plot has 150 bodies, and the city does keep track of where every single body is. And if a family does not agree to a city burial, the city does disinter for free. The problem, I see it, is that there will be quite a few unclaimed bodies buried on Hart Island because there aren't really enough funeral directors, and there's also very limited space in the private cemeteries. So this means that a lot of people will either agree to a city burial, or if their relative is not picked up by a funeral director within 2 weeks, it will go to Hart Island. And then after this is over, it will take quite a long time for these disinterments to take place.
So you just touched on it, Melinda. A lot of funeral directors are overwhelmed right now, and they can't pick up these bodies. So families have 2 weeks before you take charge of those bodies?
Oh, I don't work for the city. I'm with a public charity. The medical examiner of New York City handles the unclaimed remains, and there's a very orderly process of releasing those remains for burial on Hart Island.
What happens if a family does want to get their loved one at some point? How do you do that? Do you dig up the body again?
The family would have to, at that point, retain a private funeral director who would file.
Okay, I have to stop it here. Hello, Bridget Parker. Thank you for that. I know that you just mentioned that you saw an article. This is a pretty informative one. This covers all grounds. I think this was probably enough for me to show. MJ Doris, thank you. Shernette Williams and all my channel members, thank you for coming in. If you guys don't mind, share it onto your community tabs, share it out onto your social media. This woman is from the Hart Foundation. She is the Hart Island Project, I believe. And she and a gentleman run a group that helps to identify the deceased, the people who are interned at the cemetery. So she's talking about right now what happens if a family cannot get a funeral director to come within that 2-week period, because we're hearing reports of all the funeral homes were backed up. Now, let me just say this. The New York City Medical Examiner's Office is not a mean organization. It's not a mean office. If you tell them we are willing, able, and ready to pay for a funeral director and it takes 3 weeks or over that 14 days, they're not just sending your loved one's remains to be buried in Potter's Field. Potter's Field is exclusively for people who are homeless, and I hate to keep mentioning it, the indigent, people who are homeless, people who have no next of kin. If you're actively communicating with the New York City Medical Examiner's Office, they're not going to just take your loved one and send them out to Potter's Field, so you have to now dig them back up and have a proper burial. That's not going to be happening. The remains and the bodies that make it over there are the people who have no communication in that 2-week period. Now, nobody's family, if you know that your loved one died at a hospital, you get your notification. Once you get that notification, you're not going to not communicate with the hospital for 2 weeks. So that being said, I just want to put that to rest, but they talk about that here. I know how the procedure goes, and they are overwhelmed. All the funeral directors are overwhelmed. But the before all this happened, you had 30 to 60 days. It was a month to 2 months before they reverted and went to a Potter's Field burial. If 30 to 60 days passed, they would then in turn send the bodies to Hart Island. So let this continue.
File paperwork with the medical examiner requesting
Adventure
an
Rose, thanks for coming in. Adventure Rhodes, everyone, check out his channel. Great guy.
Able to retrieve
Be
those
safe at
remains
work.
and return them to the family, just as doing an exhumation. We would have to, at that point, the family would have to, at that point, retain a private funeral director who would file paperwork with.
Does want to get their loved one at some point. How do you do that? Do you dig up the body again?
The family would have to, at that point, retain a private funeral director who would file paperwork with the medical examiner requesting an exhumation. Then the city would be able to retrieve those remains and return them to the family, just as release the remains to a funeral director, just as if there had been funeral directors. It's just there would be a delay. And that might be a service to people because you can't gather and have a funeral now, but at some point in the future you might be able to do that.
Now, I think there was like some kind of urban myth going around that Rikers Island inmates were actually doing the digging. Is that true or not true?
That was true when we flew a drone over Hart Island on April 2nd, but the city has since ceased that practice, and now they've hired, they have contracted labor performing the burials under the supervision of the Department of Correction, because that's the agency that has handled the burials for the city for 150 years.
So if people are watching this at home and they're in this horrifying position, how can they get in touch with the Hart Island Project? What do they need to do?
We have a website at hartisland.net, and there's nothing to be done right now. If either you have a funeral director and they're able to handle it, or you can't find a funeral director, in which case we strongly encourage people to agree to a city burial, because it was recently transferred to the Parks Department, and Parks will take over before July 1st, 2021. And Hart Island's really a beautiful place to be buried. It's
all right, I have to stop that right there. I get that she is fond of Hart Island because I'm going to go to her website. I'm going to show you her website. Welcome in Mary London and all the people that came in that I was unable to say hello to. I don't like to stop and say hello to people during the course of playing something like this. But welcome to everyone coming in. Hello, Inner Peas. Great to see you. So listen. Here, she's saying that, I encourage people to use, it's a beautiful place. It's not a beautiful place to have your loved one buried if you have the means to do a private burial and you have the fundage. If you don't have the fundage and you can't afford a funeral, there's many other options that are less expensive, like cremation and things of that nature. So this is for someone who, again, a homeless person, someone who has no family or just can't afford it, or no. Listen, there's so many situations where this is warranted, but at the end of the day, I don't agree with what she just said, and that's just my opinion. Hello, Ginger. Thanks for joining. I'll let the rest of this play because it's almost over.
Out in the Long Island Sound. It's a bird sanctuary. There's deer. It's just a very, very peaceful place. So I don't think people should be afraid of a city burial. This is something where the city really does have capacity, and they're actually good at performing these burials.
All right,
Okay, I'm going to take this off. I don't recommend that to anybody. I'm going to show you an aerial. All right, so this is her website. It's the Hart Island Project. Astro Hater 8, thank you for joining. Hi, Erica. Beanie Boomer, thanks for coming in. I don't think she was kidding. Beanie Boomer. All right, so this is the Hart Island project. This is the island right here. I don't know how well you guys could see this, but I think you can see it pretty good. I'm going to zoom in, and this is her website. This is her. The Hart Island project is, funded by donations and things of that nature. But you see these numbers here. Let me see if I can get that bigger. So these are grave markers on Hart Island. This is an aerial view. It's an island surrounded by water, and this is the aerial view. If you click on these numbers, it'll open up a box, like a subsection that'll tell you who is buried here. See, I just clicked on number 152. I'll make it bigger. I just clicked on this area, 152, and it shows Ann Murphy, age 86, buried for 36 years. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll make it bigger, but this is what her organization has done. The city didn't do this. This is her, the Hart Island project. So you know now in site marker 152, there's all of these people in that grave. Some of them have no name. It's a rundown place, Beanie Boomer. It's not a pretty place. I've seen pictures of it. We're going to see more pictures of it. So, but they do a dignified burial for the most part. It's not like mass graves where people are just thrown in there. They're in pine boxes, and they're given a proper burial. So it's an interesting thing that they do here. So I'm going to go to Snopes. Because I feel I have to do this. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm here on Snopes. Are mass graves being dug for COVID-19 deaths is what it says here, right? And the answer is mostly true. And we know it is true, but it's not for all COVID-19 deaths. It's for, what's false about it is not all local people who die from COVID-19 are automatically buried at the site. For more than 150 years, Hart Island has been used as a burial site for deceased people with no next of kin to claim them. I'm doing well, thank you. There's no disrespect at all. It's just that there's 1 million people that are buried at that location. There's 1 million people who were unclaimed, and it's not any fault of the city. It's not any fault of anybody. If you have nobody that's a next of kin, thank you for the super chat, Joshua. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate you supporting the channel. So homeless and poor, and anybody who, it's not just homeless and poor, it's anybody who doesn't have a next of kin to claim the deceased. So if there's nobody that comes forward to claim the body after 30 to 60 days, it's usually a month to 2 months when everything's operating normally. They give it a month to 2 months. If there's no contact, then they give a burial at Potter's Field. If now that we're in a time of crisis, this is a coronavirus pandemic, you have 8,000 deaths in the city of New York. So, I'll show you an overhead. Here's video with no audio. Hold on. This is just a shot from a drone from up above. It's kind of grainy. This is just from 3 days ago, and they dig a trench like that, and it's just, it's not a way that you'd want to be buried, but if there's nobody there to claim, like I said, this is what they do. So if anybody feels that this is a beautiful place to be buried, I mean, I would be open to have a conversation with you about that. But when people there's no other choice and there's nobody there, there's no next of kin, there's no means to pay for a burial, this is the end result. So if Beanie Boomer is still here, or anybody else that was saying that maybe it's a nice place, this, I think, should settle the score for you. So So this is just for the city of New York. This is not for all of the United States, but there are Potter's Field all over the place. There's Potter's Fields, not quite like this, but they're all over the place. Trash or treasure, thanks for joining. Appreciate you coming. So there's the aerial. Hold on, let me go back to that so you guys can get a good shot of the aerial of this location. This is drone footage, obviously. Yeah, there is deer there and there's water, but this is, I'll pause it on that. There's the entrance to the rundown buildings that were there from the 1860s. This island has been in existence since 1864 or 1867, I believe. So that's a look at it from the overhead. Not that great. So again, I you know, yeah, that's not true, Jack's mom. It's not a guarantee. That's not what they do. Okay, so let me get one more thing here. Okay, here's one more story. I'll play this for you guys.
With an alarming new milestone right here in America, New York State now has more reported coronavirus cases than any country in the world. Let that sink in for just a second. And new pictures are a disturbing reminder of the human toll of that. This is a mass grave being dug for coronavirus victims at New York City's Potter's Field, where unclaimed bodies are laid to rest.
Okay, so that was CBS this morning. Somebody could take this and run with this. It said this is where all coronavirus victims are being buried. And then in the same breath, she said unclaimed. So I'm gonna roll back on that and show you how someone could get the wrong message. Bells Reborn, thank you for being in here. You know, listen, I'm saying that they're giving a dignified burial for people who have nobody to come forward, and that's why when you have family, you got to feel blessed. Some people don't have this, and this is the fate. This is the fate. So let me let you hear what she says, so you could see how this could be deceptive.
This is a mass grave being dug for coronavirus victims.
So right there, this is a mass grave being dug for coronavirus victims. Some people now won't hear the rest of this, and they will say, oh my God, I got to get on Facebook and share that this is a mass grave on this horrible looking island. Look at it. Look at that aerial view. That's the look of the whole island. And people are going to go, oh my God, I got to post this. And this is how misinformation gets posted, you know?
At New York City's Potter's Field, where unclaimed bodies, and new pictures are a disturbing reminder of the human toll of that. This is a mass grave being dug for coronavirus victims at New York City's Potter's Field, where unclaimed bodies are laid to rest.
Yeah, it's a reminder there that the poorest and most marginal are bearing the greatest burden in this crisis. And it's a widening crisis. More than 466,000 COVID cases reported nationwide.
All right, hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. Gold Glitter says, why do the coffins move so lightly for just one man? We don't know if it's a man or a woman or a teenager or somebody who weighed 95 pounds. You and I both don't know what type of human beings in there. And it's two men who do this for a living, holding up those coffins. I personally did carries at a funeral home with 4 guys, and you don't need 4 guys to carry a coffin. You need probably 2 and 2, you know. So, all right, 4. Coffin is heavy. It's most of the times they're metal. So these are wood pine boxes. It's just really a very thin pine box. So, you know, let's not get carried away with the conspiracy theory of there's nobody in those boxes. We don't know what the contents are and how much they weighed, and I'm sure they get heavy and light ones. So,
And the death toll is now well above 16,000, but there are signs of improvement. Hospital admissions from the virus are declining in New York and California, two of the hardest hit states.
Let me go back.
The new pictures are a disturbing reminder of the human toll of that. This is a mass grave being dug for coronavirus victims
cardboard.
at New York City's
What you're seeing, so they're carrying the
Potter's
cardboard
Field,
that they're putting
where
over
unclaimed bodies are laid to rest. In the
I
world.
didn't see.
Let that sink in for just a second. And new
You're welcome,
pictures
Gold.
are a disturbing
That
reminder
was a
of the
piece of-
human toll of
that
that.
was a piece of
This
plywood
is
that's
a mass
going
grave
over
being
the
dug
tops
for
of them.
coronavirus
If you see
victims
right here,
at New York City's
they're putting
Potter's
them over the
Field,
tops.
where unclaimed bodies are laid to rest.
Yeah, it's a reminder there that the poor.
Well, maybe so, Tony, and let me tell you why.
We may be hitting a turning point, turning a corner. How so?
Well, maybe so, Tony, and let me tell you why. In speaking with one of the commanders here on the ship yesterday, I said to him, how come you've only treated 100 patients or so when you have capacity for so much more? And he said, sir, we're just not getting that many patients coming to us. The need doesn't exist. So we called the governor's office, and the governor's office told us this. There are 90,000 hospital beds statewide because they've had to add so many in recent weeks. But only 18,000 of them are actually filled. So yeah, this is really good news. But every time we get good news like that, it seems to always...
So he said 90,000 hospital beds and only 18,000 are being used. So we definitely had overkill, which is great. They planned for the worst, and you know, the numbers are still staggering if you look at them. But they're basically talking about the numbers. So I want to get off of this. I want to show you one more aerial. So they're just putting dirt in over the covered areas or where they've already filled in. So those are pieces of plywood that they're putting over the top and then putting the dirt over. It looks like they're stacked 4 high. It looks, I counted four bodies, and they use a tractor. See, there's it's 2 guys grabbing it. That's reasonable right there. These are guys who do this, you know, day in and day out. I think they said on regular days, there's 25 to 30 burials a day at Potter's Field. On a regular day, there's 25 to 30, and now they're getting, now they said they're getting up to 40 to 50, sometimes 60. So, you know, it's many, many more now, because you have the regular people who pass away that are not identified or have no family, and then you have the COVID-19 victims who are not being identified or anybody coming forward. Unfortunately, in the homeless population, coronavirus is spreading more than what we hear about in the news, because just like you and I, they're not, you know, they don't have hand sanitizer. They don't have places to clean themselves over and over again. So when you have more germs in dirty situations, they are getting infected at a higher rate. So the news hasn't covered that, but I know that to be true because I have friends who are NYPD officers, and they basically told me that that's what's going on. We saw this already. All right, let's end this right here. But I did want to show you the figures again. I'll go back to the model. I'll go back to the figures of the model so you guys could see. This is worldwide. We're approaching 2 million confirmed cases, 126,500 deaths, and 3,081,620 total tests in the United States. Total tests in the U.S., 3,081,620. So that's a lot of people being tested, and that's the confirmed total for all 50 states, 608,458, with close to 26,000 souls lost. May they all rest in peace. You know, I think we are here in New York. I think here in New York we are things are looking good. The cases are much less, And hi guys, the cases are much less. There's less people going into ICU. There's less admissions. So we're at that apex that we talked about. So only coronavirus victims at Pottersfield. Where do No, that's not true, Mary. So I guess maybe you just joined. I'm not sure how long you've been here, but Pottersfield has always been for homeless people who have no family, indigent they call them. It was during the AIDS crisis in the 80s. They buried a lot of AIDS patients there. So Pottersfield has always been for anybody who has no family or has is homeless or has not the means to pay for a funeral, and their family do not come and claim the body with a licensed funeral director. But now anybody who doesn't claim a COVID victim, they go there. It's not just for COVID. So people outside the United States and people within the United States are still confused about this. But what I'm saying is the only people that go to Hart Island to Pottersfield are the people who are not claimed by loved ones or have family or don't have the means to pay for a funeral. So I hope everyone understands that. I hope everybody understands that. Okay, no worries, Mary. I'm glad I can explain it to you. So if you're new here into the broadcast, please let me know where you're watching from, your city, your state, your country, and I'll give you a shout out. Sandra Beatty, thank you so much for that $20 super chat. Very generous, not necessary, but thank you. Sandra says, love what you do, and thank you for your service you did as a police officer. Thank you.
Thank you for the super love.
Thank you for the super love. Thank you. Thank
Love
you.
what you do, and thank you for your service you did as a police officer.
Wow, that's a pretty cool one. I don't get to hear that often. Hello, Kim. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. So, guys, remember, next Sunday night, I'm going to be doing a broadcast. So next Sunday, the 19th, just check it off on your calendar, is DutyRon's birthday. Next Sunday, the 19th. You can always send me messages on my community tab. If you can't make the live stream, you can always send messages on the community tab. New York Devil says, Nassau County, New York. Welcome in from Nassau County. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you being in here. Is Dookie 4000 still here? Linda Toma Craft. Not new, but I'm from Florida. Thank you. Richmond, Virginia. Welcome in. Ohio. Thank you, Kim, for coming in from Liberty Township. I love the super love voice. That's my voice. Bells Reborn says, cause I'm saying right now, thought, what if people are just scared to claim some? They do, they don't. No. If nobody comes forward in a period of time after someone passes and there's no way for the hospital to make any notification, then that's when this happens. So let me just scroll back because everything was going fast. Hutchinson, Kansas, previously from San Francisco. Everybody get the Tito's ready for next Sunday. That's the 19th. Thank you, Deco Peyton T. Maddie Sully, it's party time. Gigi from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Ooh. Interesting. Dinwiddle, Virginia, says Teresa. So I think I got everybody. Let me see. Hold on. Darlene was a resident of Suffolk County, New York, but now a Floridian. Ugh. That's a big difference. Dookie is still here. Thank you, Diane. I just got to check. Hello, Black Rose. Lamar is in the building. Beth Wade is in the building. Spirit Stalker Afterlight, San Antonio, Texas. Thank you. Oh, yay. A reason to make a birthday card. Excellent, Linda. Thank you. So I'm just trying to catch up. Inner Peas. I'm from the Bay Area, Northern California. Awesome sauce. I love it. Homer Simpson, New Zealand. Nice. Good to see you, Homer. Appreciate it. Just a note, I do believe there are people in boxes. Just asked the question. Oh, no, I know. I know. Golden Glitter. I didn't think that you thought that. Just that I don't like to. Some people could get something from that comment. Like, I didn't detect that, but reason I said it like that is just I didn't want anybody to now jump on the bandwagon. Like, yeah, hey, conspiracy theories can jump in. Oh, there's really nothing in there. Just empty pine boxes that they're burying. So That's the only reason I did it. Nothing to you. So if you took it that way, I apologize. Steve, Stingray Steve, retired CO from the Bronx, Florida snowbird. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Lamar, thank you for being in here. Thank you for being a channel member. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. So anybody else have anything in regards to Hart Island? I think I covered it all. I don't like to beat a dead horse or continually go over this. We get the drill. The reports that New York City was burying, starting because they had no room to start to bury bodies in city parks, was a bunch of hogwash. And it was something that the media created in misrepresenting and misinformation on reporting. And you see how easily these reporters will talk about something just to make it sound sensational. They want to make shit sound sensational. I'll have to warm up my voice to sing to Ron on Sunday. There you go. I think I'll do a call-in. I'll have some people call in through Discord. So if you're not in the Discord group, share that love of yours, Ron. There you go, Beanie Boomer. So if you're not in my Discord group, send me or Joshua H a message and we'll add you, because next Sunday, to be able to call in to my program, to the I'll do like a half hour, 40-minute video. To call in, you're going to need to do it through Discord. I'm not going to do Streamlabs. Zoom. I'll do it through Discord. So Steve Stingray says, fake news. I was waiting for someone to say that. Thank you for the page information about the markers. I will be searching for my grandfather. You're welcome. Do you want me to go back to that page and I'll search for it? You want me to go back to that page? Here it is. I could just put in, I'll show you the page. Hold on a second. Here it is. Let me move my name up to my picture up here. All you have to do is put in the last name, date of death, place of death, or just probably just the last name and search. What you'd have to do is put in a last name and search. So the website is hartsisland.net, hartsisland.net. And if you go there, that's all you have to do. And this is the landing page. This is the landing page, and it shows the whole island here. And you could see how many graves are there. There's over 1 million people interned here on Hart Island, guys. Over 1 million. So, this is a look at it. You can see the lower part here. There's, so I mean, I don't think you want to do it on my live stream, but this is where you'll go to get your information. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, Meglo. So, anybody familiar with the song "Dirty Laundry"? Oh, of course, I love that. I love that song. There you go. Giselle Rodriguez says, hello from Queens, New York. Thank you for joining. Welcome in, Giselle. Thank you for joining. All right, let me just see what I'm missing because the comments go so freaking fast. Hey, Matt Sully. Oh, that is since 1980. He died in the 40s. Yeah. But you can contact that woman. You could send a message on this page right here. See the drop-down menu? You can contact right here. See, just go to the contact and send them a message, and maybe they'll be able to help you, So, hey, what's going on, Dylan? Duty Blue, good to see you, man. Heidi, I'm glad you made it. Google Maps made it look so much more peaceful and quaint. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the greatest of looking places. Here, so I think these numbers are telling you how many people are buried in there. I want to say 9 in this location. Maybe that's what that is. 42. 3. Yeah, 3. Quincy Marquez, buried 36 years. Look at Barlow. Buried 36 years, 13 days. Wow, this is a lot of information. And this is all because of the website. Wow. I'm going to spend some time looking at this. But so this is the coastline over here where my picture is the Bronx, New York. So, I believe. Wait a minute, is that the Bronx? It's not Coney Island, because, you know, that's the Bronx. That's the Bronx. All right, guys, I'm going to end it. Let me just get this off. Hold on a second. Let me get off of this. Okay. All right, guys. So for those of you who are new, if you're not following me on all social media, one word, DutyRon, right here, DutyRon, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow me on all social media so you can get everything DutyRon. Beth Wade, thank you for coming. A baby hours old buried there. No. It just, that was when it was reported hours ago. The age was 36 on that one. I saw that too, Beth, but it wasn't a baby. But that site is cool. It's cool because you get to see some history, Sleeping Beauty. These are all people who were buried without any family or that were homeless. So it is a lot of history to see. And for, you know, great-grandchildren, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and things of that nature, this gives them a place to go, to see. Have a great night, everybody. Bells Reborn, thank you so much for being here. So, guys, follow me on all social media, all one word, DutyRon. I have a DutyRon YouTube video share group on Facebook, and I have a police and crime chat group. So if you're interested in those kind of things, join the Facebook groups. You could share your video if you're a creator in there. You can interact with a lot of people. Go over to my Discord. Send me messages on Discord. Send me a message if you want to join the Discord. I'll put you in there. We have some rules in the Discord, so you got to play by the rules or you get kicked out. Dylan, rest in peace. Round Rock PD Officer White, and the tour 415 2018. I have the shirt. I should have been wearing that tonight. Thank you for that reminder. May he continue to rest in peace, and all my brothers and sisters in blue who pay the ultimate sacrifice. Each plot contains 150 bodies. There you go, Beanie Boomer. You're chock full of information, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Beanie Boomer. Good night, Bridget. Hey, everybody follow Joey Brooklyn and Bridget Parker. Do me a favor. Follow Meg Lowe, too, while you're at it. Follow Bells Reborn Nursery. Erica Collins, glad. What did she say? Glad what? Hold on, Erica. I love Erica. She's my good friend. I hope you're doing well, Erica, you and your son. Glad we have you looking out, DutyRon. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Erica. You're a doll. I've been friends with her for years, at least 2 years now. At least a good 2 years, me and Erica. Right? At least. So, guys, a lot of love, a lot of respect. I am off for the rest of the week. I'm taking off. Birthday love for me. Yilfa, good to see you. How is that? How is it healing up? How are you healing? I want to see pictures. I'm watching from the start. I came in late. I am watching from the start. Okay, but I'm on my way out the door. So much love and respect to each and every one of you. As I like to always end my live streams, tomorrow. I'm going to wear the shirt tomorrow then. Dylan was nice enough to send me a memorial shirt for that Round Rock PD officer. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dylan. So thank you to all my channel members, my Patreon supporters, all of my great moderators and good friends who positively interact in the chat. That means the world to me. It really does. And I hope to see you guys on my birthday broadcast on Sunday, April 19th. I'm turning 56 years old. I'm an old bag of dirt. So I'm turning 56, and I hope to celebrate with you guys later on that night. After I'm done celebrating with my family, I will come to my second family and celebrate with you guys. So, guys, get your party hats and noisemakers ready. Go to my Discord group, join it, join the Facebook, and we will have a fun time on Sunday night. God bless the world. God bless the USA, and God bless each and every one of us. Be safe Be careful, follow the rules, social distance, wear the masks, clean your hands like a freak. Anything you touch is considered contaminated. Clean your hands. A lot of love from DutyRon. Thank you guys for joining in on this live stream. I greatly appreciate you. And when you watch the replay, let the whole replay roll. I'm a 64 baby too. It's not so bad. I know listen, you are adorable, MJ Doris. The picture, your profile picture and all your stuff on social, you age well. So God bless you right there, MJ. So I'll talk to you soon. Prayers to your brother. He has COVID-19 on a ventilator. Sandra, send me a message privately. I'd love to send you some prayers and some positive vibes. So send me a message. Sporting Gusta, thank you so much for being in here. I'm on my way out the door. Send me a message and a lot of prayers. Let's put some prayer emojis in the chat for Sandra, for her brother. He is on a ventilator. And let's say some prayers for her and her brother. Good night, Dookie. I'll see you soon. Prayer emojis for Sandra, and then we'll get out of here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. There you go. There goes the prayer emojis for Sandra. Thank you, everyone, for putting that in there. Quick prayers for Sandra's brother. Say a quick prayer. Amen. Okay, guys. Good night. I will talk to you soon. Sandra, send me a message. Everybody, stay well.